What type of home benefits most from staging, the Brisbane floods, and do we charge more for premium furniture? This is what's on this week's agenda for Foxy TV. So we're going to hear from Jake on the Brisbane floods and a bit of a business update, but Jake's not the most interesting person to listen to, so we're going to push him to the end of the episode. We're going to start things off with an install in Camp Hill.
We're at Camp Hill, doing an install. We're at this place, it's on one level. There's really good access.
Tiles on the floors, the whole property.
Yeah, so we've done a few rugs around just to make the space a bit warmer.
So we definitely have covered this in previous episodes of Foxy TV, but it is important and worth revisiting, and that is what properties benefit the most from home staging.
Time and time again, units and small homes are the ones that benefit the most from styling. Two reasons. There's an expectation for our high-end homes to be styled. There is an expectation to walk in and have matching finishes compared to the actual skeleton that it's in. Because that expectation is there, it doesn't have the impact as much with the styling. It still looks gorgeous and it still brings it together and it finishes the project, and I would never list it vacant. However, it doesn't have the same impact when you come to return on investment. So if we look at the smaller one that you did this morning, that one is in Cannon Hill, Camp Hill, wherever it was, little 2-bedroom unit. Bedroom 2 is very small, bedroom 1 standard size. And living dining is actually quite generous for an old school unit. So without styling, it's dark. We have nothing to look at. We've got concrete walls. So it's not just dark, it's quite cold. We've got popcorn ceilings, and that is definitely where your attention goes to. You go to straight away, I've got asbestos, potential issues, and it just feels old. Somebody who's looking in the market for something like that property is a first home buyer or an investor. Investors care less about that stuff, obviously. They care about the bones. But a first home buyer, the people who are going to be driving that price up, the people who are going to fall in love and pay more for it because they love the location, they like that it's close to the hospital, they like that it's close to the lifestyle factors, they're the ones that you want to really target. So they're not going to fall in love with a house that is cold and dark or dingy or feel old or have marks and love marks on the walls. So this is where the styling comes in. So we've got light sofas, we've got a glass top dining table, we've got some higher quality artwork, we've got all of our lamps and all of the linen and everything in there, and they all work to keep the eye down off the ceiling. They help to make the space feel warmer and less echoey so that we take the attention off the concrete walls. And then obviously all of those light fixtures, the lighter colour fabric, it helps to brighten the space. Those things all together, plus amazing photography. You can't forget the photography and the marketing. And this is something I've had a really good discussion with about a number of agents. People are accepting of the styling at the moment, but they're thinking they don't need to go and do the marketing. And that's a really different way of thinking, but you need a good photographer, you need the good marketing to draw the people in. And if you get more people in, you're gonna have more competition and more fear of missing out. And then that's how your agent is able to really level everything off and get those amazing prices through.
All right, I feel a little bit bad about what I said about Jake not being interesting earlier. So we're gonna bring his segment up to now. Remember to stick around till after this segment, as Phoebe's gonna answer a question from Facebook around how we charge for premium furniture. Let's go to Jake.
Yeah, February was a pretty busy one, actually. We ended up doing 71 installs, which is probably a little more than we thought we might do. It's getting close to the numbers we were doing in spring last year, which is kind of where, in terms of the business and what we expect. When we get to about March, we normally are doing about what we did in the spring the year before. So we're probably getting close to that. Having said that, the number of houses we've got out is kind of hovering around the 90-ish houses, and that's because even though we did a lot of installs, we're still seeing a lot of sales, so things are selling quickly. We're packing things up just as quickly as they're going out, and I think the average turnaround time from install to pack up is still around the 4 to 5 week mark, which is quite quick when you think about the fact that it doesn't mean that it's taking that long to get a contract. That's at the point where it goes unconditional and is ready for pack up again. So yeah, quite a good month. We did. I can't even remember where we were at last time we did an update on this, but we've had 2 more in the logistics team. Do you want me to name them now? You're going to... Yeah, we can maybe do a little welcome video later, but we've got Jerome and Joe both joined in the logistics. And we also have a bit of a change in the marketing team, so we'll do a proper goodbye at a later stage on a different video, but Eva is leaving us onto bigger and better things, and we will be replacing that role, so we'll have another welcome to the team at some point in the near future. Well, we're still waiting to find out for sure how much of an impact it's had on us. We've definitely had definitely one property that went completely underwater. I've already been there and tried to rescue some of the linen, which might be able to happen, but in general that one's gone. We've got another couple that we're waiting because they're in areas where people can't or haven't been able to get in and check it out. So it depends on how high the water went in some of those places. So definitely having an impact on the stock that we've got out, and obviously on the sellers that have their properties marketed, and I think there's even a couple that have contracts and are kind of waiting for building a pest, all that sort of thing. So it's going to be a few issues for people to kind of figure out. Obviously we've got some insurance to help cover some of these things, and maybe not all of it, but we'll see how we go, and just, I guess, trying to figure out things like the inner city units that have elevators in the apartments. Some of those are going to be impacted, even though our property is a bit higher and isn't getting water damage. Being able to access the elevators or working elevators to get things in and out is going to be a bit of a wait and see sort of game at the moment, and that goes for installs as well that are coming up if they're in certain areas. I'd say this week, it's only Tuesday, but the chopping and changing this week in both installs and pack-ups has been more than we would normally see, just because things are being pushed, some are coming forward, and we're trying to get to certain properties as quickly as we can. With all of that, keeping in mind that we're a business that has some insurance, and at the end of the day, it's more of an annoyance than anything for us. It's we'll have a few wet beds to throw away or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not anything that compared to what some of the people out there are going through. Even the one that I went to yesterday, our property that's flooded, it's an investment property, and they were saying insurance for them is going to cover everything, they're okay. But talking about the lady next door who got out just in time and had to, took her cats with her and left a lot of the family memories and furniture and all that sort of thing behind, and it's all ruined. So, in the scheme of things, we're pretty lucky, and obviously thoughts go out to those that are dealing with things a lot more difficult than we are.
Thanks for that, Jake. And once again, I apologise for calling your sections not interesting. So to finish this week's episode, we are going to, I think I said Facebook question, but it actually came from Instagram around charging for premium furniture. Let's go to Phoebe now.
With all of our furniture, what I was saying in that episode is we basically split our higher costs out so that those pieces of furniture are covered under 3 installations of using those pieces of furniture. That's sort of how we divide our cost out. That's how I set my limits. So if I use a dining chair as an example, $150 dining chair, that's where I like to keep it as my minimum, as my maximum for purchasing a standard dining chair. A majority of our range fits into that range of that pricing, and that's how we work out our prices. If we've got high-end stock, which is what this question is specifically related to, I do increase my spending limits, which means I do increase my higher costs for those, but it's done proportionally, so they're still paid off in 3 installs. So we have a premium range. That premium range for our dining chair, if I can use the same example, so $150 for a standard. My other dining chairs, I'm willing to go up to about $350, $400, depending on the dining chair. So if you can imagine though, 6 $400 dining chairs into a space when that's wholesale pricing, the house has to make sense. We don't focus on that level of house all that much. That's really, honestly, that's reserved for those properties that are going to sell for the $3 million mark. That's reserved for those super high-end, more penthouse style homes. So that's what you would have seen. Your Oates and Skyline, the Patani dining chairs from Iluka Road, the Lagos dining chairs that went into the Alice Street penthouse that we did, that ended up selling for 3.4 mil. The Lagos dining chairs also from Iluka Road, they sat at that price point. The Bardo dining chairs that we have out there, they're from Rice Furniture. They sit at that same price. They're a luxe velvet feel. Our fabric dining chairs, they're not nowhere near that cost. So, but they give that feel. So they work out, they're $79 each from our supplier, and they look amazing. They've got the studs, they've got the door knocks, they look absolutely gorgeous, and really help to elevate the feel of a standard level of home without that price tag. So all divided by 3.
And that is it for episode 151 of Foxy TV. Thanks again so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you back here next week.